Our presentation is called Leading UNL to Energy Savings. In this project, we focused on energy use in UNL's buildings. In the United States, buildings represent 41% of primary energy use and 61% of electricity is generated from fossil fuels. To reduce our carbon footprint, save money through reduced utility bills, and prepare for the increased energy demand of the future, we believe that UNL should reduce the amount of energy that we use in our buildings. We researched several options that we believe could help UNL achieve this. Building energy consumption is most closely related to these 4 sustainable development goals. Implementing changes can provide research and involvement opportunities for students, faculty, and staff. On a local scale, reducing our energy use will increase Lincoln's energy security. UNL is a community by itself and has impacts on Lincoln. Reducing our energy use relates to climate action because it would reduce the amount of fossil fuels burned to create the energy campus needs. The planetary boundaries that relate most to building energy consumption are climate change, global freshwater use, and atmospheric aerosol loading. Climate change and atmospheric aerosol loading both result from the burning of fossil fuels for electricity, with aerosol loading resulting specifically from coal. Biodiversity loss can be seen as a result of climate change. Global freshwater use is also relevant because water is used to heat and cool the buildings through the exchange of thermal energy. In any sustainability discussion, there are economic, social, and environmental factors that need to be considered. The economic factor that drives potential solutions at UNL is cost. The university has limited funding, making the return on investment versus upfront cost a key aspect of choosing an option. The period it takes to see the return on investment is crucial as well. As for social factors, it is important to consider how each option impacts the main users of the buildings where solutions are implemented, as well as how it affects UNL as a community. The environmental factors that need to be considered include how greenhouse gas emissions, water use, and indoor environmental quality change in response to each option, and how each option impacts a building's life cycle. This is a concept map of building energy consumption at UNL. Energy usage at UNL includes the electricity we use to power lights and appliances, plus the electricity we use to generate the chilled water and steam that is distributed to many of our buildings for heating and cooling. There are several reasons why UNL should care about the amount of energy it uses. First, we believe that UNL should use its influence on the Lincoln area to inspire change. By making changes towards energy efficiency, UNL can serve as a local leader and influence people and businesses in Lincoln to follow our example. Another reason is because reducing our energy use can help us save money by reducing our utility bills. As climate change becomes more urgent, it's also important that we take any steps possible to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. Finally, making our buildings more energy efficient can help attract students who are interested in sustainability and architecture. We believe that UNL should strive for energy efficiency in all its buildings, new and old. In 2009, UNL adopted the Sustainable Design Policy, which requires that all new buildings be constructed to meet Silver standards in the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, or LEED, program. The goals of the Sustainable Design Policy are to optimize energy performance, improve indoor environmental quality and health, and benefit the local, regional, and global environment through the achievement of certain LEED standards. The Sustainable Design Policy dictates which LEED credits are required, desired, and optional for all new construction projects, but does not actually require that new construction be registered and certified by LEED. So what are other institutions doing? LEED is a holistic approach to sustainable building construction and design. LEED awards credits in categories including water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, indoor environmental quality, and more. Additionally, LEED has 7 impact categories that describe what LEED projects should accomplish. LEED has certain credits required by each project, but the rest of the credits can be tailored to the project. The pros of LEED are that it is a comprehensive program that considers the life cycle of the building. The prerequisite credits ensure that each building meets a specific standard, but the credit categories allow for flexibility. A drawback of LEED is that it may cost significantly more to build or renovate up to LEED certifications compared to a standard building. There are also concerns about projects buying their way through LEED, meaning that they go after easy points that arguably have minimal environmental benefits. This is a LEED scorecard for new construction and major renovation projects. Each credit category shows how many points are possible for each category and which credits are required for LEED certification. The LEED scorecard contains a total of 110 points possible, with projects receiving 40 to 49 points qualifying as certified, 50 to 59 as silver, 60 to 79 as gold, and 80 to 110 as platinum. A good example of LEED is the University of Arizona, which has a total of 4 LEED platinum buildings and 5 LEED gold and silver buildings. According to the Energy Storage Association, energy storage systems provide a wide array of technological approaches to managing our power supply in order to create a more resilient energy infrastructure and bringing cost savings to utilities and consumers. In total, there are 6 forms of these storage systems: flow batteries, flywheels, and thermal, to name a few. A prime example of energy storage systems is California State University in Long Beach, California. In 2016, the university collaborated with Advanced Microgrid Solutions to create a flow battery storage system on their campus. In the 2 years it has been in the works, the utility costs are projected to be reduced by $3.3 million. Like all options, energy storage systems have their pros and cons. Some of the drawbacks of the storage systems are additional costs and increased space requirements for infrastructure. In time, it is predicted that energy storage systems will save consumers $25 to $50 million. It will also create jobs and provide a source of electricity during power outages. Green roofs fall in 2 categories, intensive and extensive, which determine the possible species planted in them and the amount of stress they place on buildings. Green roof benefits include reducing energy costs from cooling, providing habitat space for animals, filtering rainfall, improving air quality, and protecting the waterproof membranes of roofs. It can also provide space to grow food. The cost is relatively low, running around $15 to $20 per square foot. Some cons of green roofs are that they tend to only be installable on new buildings, as existing buildings may lack the structural support to handle the additional weight of a green roof. Maintenance is also required for the plants and soil. In terms of energy, outdoor living walls can reduce the energy costs of cooling in the summer by providing shade, and can decrease heating needs in the winter by blocking winds. They are also better at reducing energy use than green roofs. Indoor living walls filter air and provide humidity for buildings, reducing energy use for air conditioning in general. The cons of living walls are that they may block incoming natural light. As with green roofs, the plants must be maintained. However, installation costs are more variable and can range from $45 to $265 per square foot. Many different groups have a stake in this issue. Facilities maintenance and operations would be responsible for the installation and maintenance of any building modification. The companies that provide us energy also have a major say because they have contracts to provide energy to UNL each year. Secondary stakeholders, including students, faculty, and staff, may see their classes or offices moved during building renovations, which could be a source of inconvenience. The Board of Regents is responsible for approving the university's budget, so any changes in fund allocation must be approved by them. The Nebraska legislature sets our funding, so they would have to approve any increases in funding. University donors may also decide to change donation amounts depending on what UNL decides to implement. Our group, Environmental Ethic, emphasizes reducing resource use, respecting ecosystems and habitats, and coexisting with plants and animals. As a group, we thought that the utilitarian approach best fit this topic. We wanted to choose the option that does the most good for the environment and the least harm. Out of all the options we researched, we thought that LEED presented the most benefits with the least drawbacks in the long run. Our recommendation for UNL is to update the sustainable design policy. We think that this would be a good time to update the policy for the future, as it is approaching its 10th year in effect. First, we think that the sustainable design policy should be expanded to include UNL's existing buildings. The university should create an evaluation system based on a building's age, function, and design to determine reasonable candidates for renovation up to LEED Silver standards. Through this evaluation process, the university can decide which buildings to invest in based on renovation costs and returns on investment. By focusing on the energy and atmosphere credit category, which is worth 33 out of the total 110 points, UNL can work towards the goal of improving energy efficiency while also increasing the return on investment through decreased utility bills. Second, we believe that the standard for newly constructed buildings should be upgraded from LEED Silver to Gold. With more investments in energy atmosphere, we can see further reductions in energy use and utility bills. Overall, this project helped us understand how UNL's energy system works, which revealed to us that this issue is much larger and more complicated than we had imagined. In order for this idea to become a reality, we must increase awareness about the program to find the right supporters that will help renovate these buildings to a higher environmental standard. Thank you.